the poppin'. We going to the poppin'. Sure they shake all the time.
Well, welcome back everybody. I got my motor mounts. I'm going to put them in today. This is what the new improved looks like to me, and not really looking real close, but they don't look any different than the old ones, but that's okay. I'm still going to put them in because mine are junk, as we saw in the last episode. So, need to get her up on the stand and take these little doodads out of here and put the new ones in. Fun and games. Alright, so on my bike, this front right, look at all the chrome gone. Wow. This front right motor mount is just an intersection of hell. I got all kinds of stuff going on here, and it'll be somewhat tough on your bike, being that the exhaust comes down here behind it, so it makes it hard to reach in here. I'm also running a ground, and I'm also running a ground off of my fan back there also. So it gets kind of complicated and tricky on doing it. It's not like you need specialized tools or anything like that. It's just being patient and getting it. It's hard to do. So I got to get these caps off. I'll get this cap off, which you saw in the last video, is 7/8. This is 7/8 here, and then I got to get these caps off, and these are 1/2 inch, and then the Allen 1/2 inch, like this here, and then the Allen head inside there is a 3/8 Allen head, and that's all you need. This big wrench here is so I can put it on the Allen head if that's really tight. I'm not sure how tight that's going to be yet, but we'll find out in a second. Alright, so I got both these chrome caps off, and I got the cap off the motor mount, and I will go ahead and start dismantling this thing. Oh boy, the camera's getting in the way of everything here. Said this is really going to be a tight fit back here. Not sure how I got that on there. This big old ground in front of me is a telephone company ground. I used to work in the phone company, and I grabbed it. It's what I used to help ground this frame. It's an issue with these bikes. I think if you watch episodes 1 through first 5 episodes, I talk about the good and the bad of the motorcycles of the Excelsior Hendersons, and one of their issues that needs to be addressed is grounds. And so I got this big heavy one here running off the motor mount bracket or housing, and then to the starter. Then I got another one just as big inside by the electrical box. So yeah, this here dropped a little bit. It means it's holding a little bit of weight. Understandably so, being the motor mount is junk. Might have to lift the motor a little bit to get that bolt out. And a good place to lift is right in here. If you can get a pry bar in there, yeah, I think I can. I'll do that. I want to make sure I don't pinch nothing in there when I lift it. There we go. Out she came. And if you notice, I lifted it and it looked normal, and then I let go of the lift and it's all saggy again. Kind of tells you what's going on. With any luck, this motor mount won't be in there real tough. I put my fingers on behind there to make sure it wasn't spinning. It shouldn't, it's pinned, but stuff wears out, pins go away. Oh, my pinned. You can see this little bitty hole right here. That means when I put it back in and mount it, there's a pin back there that holds it in place. Also, this notch will help hold it. I'm not sure, but this rack, this lift I got, this is an old lift my youngest son got me for my birthday one year. I'm not sure if I didn't have this lift that I would be doing videos on working on these guys, because my back just probably wouldn't be real excited about it. Okay, so we got her off. Move some of my junk. And this is the bracket housing for the motor mount. It sits like that. Gotta take this off the front of it so you can get to the motor mount, and then this screw, this big Allen head, screws into here. And right here you can see that pin I was just talking about. Right there. Now to get this all back together, oh, that ground stayed. That's something. Yeah, there's that ground for the fan right there. Get this back together, yes, I will have to lift the motor. I'll pry it up with my big bar here. And I'll be paying attention again. Now, this don't look all that bad. But I promise you, it is. Doesn't look bad at all, but it's apparently that doesn't like what's going on in there. So, this is Jamie's aluminum washer. Well, I thought it was aluminum, but that's stainless. And this guy goes in this way. There it is. See the notch? The notch here fits right here on this pin. And when it does that, hopefully it lines up on that pin. And that would be this way. Yep. Pin, pinhole, notch. Everybody's in line. Got to do that, otherwise you're going to mess up and you'll have issues later. And you'll be wondering why nothing's going together and that kind of stuff. But let's point that out one more time for everybody. There's a notch right here. And then in the housing, the motor mount housing, there's a pin right here that notch fits in. See the notch? Fits there. And the motor mount housing goes on, and then you've got to line up this hole with that pin there. Do all that right, you'll be good to go. Okay. Let's see if we can get this back together. I can't believe that ground stayed. That's nice, because it's really, if I can remember, I mean, this has been 10 years since I've had to deal with this. If I can remember it still, that means it was a big deal. Got it centered. Or not centered, I got that pin in it. That was a little bit of a struggle. Yeah, she's in. And I'm looking through that hole with the flashlight. Big wrench. Pretty sure that's the place. Okay. Yep. I know this is getting kind of repetitious, but here's your pin. It's going to be down. It's going to fit that slot. It's not going to fit it very well because the motor's sagging at the moment, so I have to lift the motor again. And being careful I don't pinch any wires or good shit under there. Well, I'll get that top nut on there because it's messing with my head. Notice how that Allen head is centered in that hole. So yes, I had an issue. And this kind of stuff that happens, you know, I ride this bike. It's not a museum piece by any means. And so stuff's going to wear. Now, as Keith Cool said on the last episode, he made a comment below that these are a wear item. Boy howdy, they really are. Gravity will take these out, and you don't even have to ride it. It's just going to happen. What's blocking me down there? Oh, the bracket. My oil cooler bracket dropped down. That's why I couldn't get that bolt in there. Alrighty. Now I feel the ground. It came up. Oh, phooey. I got that bolt in there. And I forgot to put the big ground on. Shoot! Back off we go. Okay, this is quite the wrestling match. I got it. The oil cooler bracket back here, like I told you, this is really crowded back here, had dropped down. I'm not real sure why it dropped down, why it was so stiff. So I put a vice grips on here, and I pulled back like this and pushed in this way, and it lined it right up. I'm in the hole now, and I just got to make sure I get that ground for the fan back there. It's also on the same bolt. It's just kind of it's the only place in the bike I really struggle with. There it is. Now, I don't have a nut on there yet. I'm just kind of running the threads through there so it sticks out a ways so I can get a nut. And you can't see it, but my ground wire is on the bolt. I could put it up here, but it's not going to make any difference. This silly bracket for the oil cooler is just in the way, period. Or it dropped down and it just made everything a mess. So now I got the lock washer on there. Get this out of the way. Now start that nut. And that's all blind. Sorry guys. Like I said, it's a little difficult because it's such a busy place here. This, yep, the nut's biting. The exhaust wasn't so tight over here, this wouldn't be so nasty, but the exhaust is here and that's the way it goes. Where did my wrench go? Here it is. So now I'm tightening up. That one's on. Tighten this guy up. I left everybody loose on purpose. I always expect issues, no matter what I'm wearing. It's not Excelsior or Henderson. You just leave it loose until you got everything, all the bolt holes in. Kind of makes everything easier to maneuver. And I'm sure that's nothing new to most people, but if you're not used to wrenching, it's kind of a big deal. Okay, so that motor mount's done. Got quite a bit of video on that. But you should be able to see it's centered. It's dropped a little bit, but it's pretty much centered. Once I get this other motor mount on the other side done, they'll both be up. They'll both be up really nice. I think this is the third set, fourth set. I can't remember. I've done this a few times before. I guess it's not that big a deal. I'm just trying to make the point that this ain't my first time doing it, even though it's been a long time. It probably looks like it was my first time. If you got that kind of oil cooler, it may give you that problem too. I'm not sure why that has so much push on it, but it doesn't matter. Caps. I gotta get some new caps. These guys are getting so tired. Falling off. Missing. Alright, so we'll go around the other side and it'll be much easier because it's nothing going on in that corner of the bike. Alright, so we got caps again. We gotta get them off. Get the big stainless steel cap off. Where'd that wrench go? I left it over here. Got to kind of watch what I'm doing there. I don't have the bike strapped down. A lot of times I don't do it just because I don't. It has nothing to do with nothing. Well, that's interesting. That motor mount over there pulled this one up. So possibility where it'd make a guy think that oh, this motor mount's not bad. Look, it's centered. Well, we all saw it earlier. It was hanging down before the new motor mount got mounted, so I'm replacing both. I already have a pretty good clue that it's bad. Okay. Someday when I grow up, I'm going to have a... Oh, shoot. Got a cap in there. All right. Yeah, I like my gear wrenches. I like ratchets, I like air tools. I don't have any, but those cordless wrenches, oh my gosh. Oh, look at that, look at all that orange Loctite on there. Wow. Some of you probably noticed in the video here, I got a different shifter. This one. You can't get any more EH ones, not that I know, unless somebody's hoarding them. Mike Seastrom has none. He says they're completely out. And, which it really, I mean, everybody worries about the future, what we're going to have around for tools and all that good stuff. Parts, I mean. And I understand that. But to be honest, that's a Harley one. J&P, a friend of mine had it, said try it. Fit on this shaft perfect. I had to drill this one out and tap it, and I've had no issues. In fact, it's one nice thing about it. It makes this throw a lot shorter than an Excelsior Henderson standard throw. I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but it's kind of a long, clunky, at least I should say clunky. My bike's clunky. Long, clunky throw when you're hitting it. Make a shift. And here you go again, the stainless steel washer that gets flattened. The cap sits against it, and it puts some life into these motor mounts. Now these motor mounts are the new improved ones. Dan had these made up for us because we ran out of the factory ones, and we ran out of them quick because we're all running our belt too tight. People were going through motor mounts at 3,000 miles, and if you remember from the last video, I was thinking I had like over 30,000 on this set of motor mounts, and I know it's over 20 for sure, but it might be 30. My bike's got 55,000 on it, I think, something like that. So it was just another one of those things that was fixed or updated. I can't remember who discovered the belts being too tight. Not that it matters. The motor mount looking fine doesn't mean that it's good. It's lost its memory. That rubber is fatigued enough from heat and cold and just gravity hanging on it. It's lost its memory. So you got to get a new one, and obviously that's what we're doing here today. I snagged this just for giggles. This is what the rear ones look like. They're different, and they also lose their memory, and they sit inside here, and they sit in here inside a cup, and inside all the way across is a rod that threads on both ends for the Allen heads. And the hard part on that is getting the rod out. Now, I have never struggled with it on my bike or any of the bikes I've worked on, but some of the other guys have tried to replace their rear motor mounts and have actually had to get a torch out and burn that rod out because it was rusted in there so bad. Okay, so here we go. We'll get this new one mounted. Hopefully I ain't gonna have to do much lifting or prying on that motor. It should be pretty close. Gonna have to lift it a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but it's down beyond the bracket. So we'll get her turned in there ways, lift it, and get her mounted on that pin and get that notch in the right place. That notch, where it's at, is not correct. Okay, so back off a little bit. Get my gnarly pry bar and find a place over here. That'll work. Go. That's my holes. Okay, see there we go. Again, the oil cooler bracket isn't lining up very well. That's okay. We'll get her. Always do. To pry it up just a hair. Yep. Of course, I always do that. I'm always putting nuts back on. And then, of course, I only got one hand, and then it's a game. Woof. How are we here? Oh, we're pretty good. No, you are not.
Sure they shake all the time. Shaky, shaky, Shirley. Shaky, shaky, Shirley. Shaky, shaky, Shirley. Please pop in anytime. Sure they shake all the time. Sure they shake